My bank account, containing 600,000 yuan, had vanished without a trace. It wasn't until I spoke with a teller that I learned my husband, Elias, had personally transferred the money. When I confronted him, he shrugged dismissively. Gwendolyn's child needs a heart transplant. I transferred the money to her. Is this really something you need to make a big deal out of? The thought of my own mother-in-law's illness made my eyes well up with tears. But mother is sick. She has cancer. Elias paused, then laughed. Oh, your mother has cancer? Good thing I sent the money to Gwendolyn beforehand, otherwise, it would have been like throwing good money after bad to treat her. If she can't afford treatment, she can just die. I tossed my mother-in-law's medical report into the trash without a second thought. The money was gone, and frankly, someone's mother was going to die. My own checkup came back clear for both myself and my mother, but my mother-in-law was indeed diagnosed with early-stage cancer. My heart ached. Despite the fact that my mother-in-law had never been kind to me, often uttering cruel and insulting words, my husband Elias had lost his father at a young age. If his mother were to die, it would be a devastating blow to him. I calmed my nerves, resolving to first gather a complete picture of our remaining finances before speaking with Elias later that evening to discuss treatment options. But when I went to the ATM to check our accounts, I was met with a zero balance. I initially thought it was a bank error, only to realize I was the joke. The teller informed me that Elias had transferred the funds. Stumbling home, I found Elias, who should have been at work, packing a suitcase. He looked flustered. In the suitcase lay a fiery red negligee. I had assumed it was a gift for me, so I said nothing, waiting for him to surprise me with it. Clearly, it was for someone else. I took a deep breath. Where did the 600,000 yuan go? Elias raised an eyebrow, responding casually, Gwendolyn's child needs a heart transplant, so I transferred the money to her. Is this really something you need to get so worked up about? My mind exploded. It's always Gwendolyn. How much money have you lent her in the 3 years we've been married? Has she ever paid you back? Not only does she not return the money, but she treats you like you're her husband. Having to fix her light bulbs in the dead of night? Who could tolerate this? Elias' face turned ashen. He bellowed, You shrew! Why are you yelling? Saving a life is a noble thing. I'm doing you a favor and will bless you with a child. You've been barren for 3 years and I haven't divorced you. You have the nerve to shout at me. Let me tell you, I didn't lend her the money. It's a gift for her to use, and she doesn't need to pay it back. After these callous words, Elias was about to leave when I rushed to stop him. He struck my arm, leaving a burning sensation. Heartbroken, I burst into tears. But mother is sick. She has cancer. Elias paused, then chuckled. Oh, your mother has cancer? Good thing I sent the money to Gwendolyn beforehand. Otherwise, it would be like throwing good money after bad to treat her. If she can't afford treatment, she can just die. Whistling a tune, he triumphantly dragged his suitcase towards the door. I wiped away the tears that filled my eyes, casually tossing my mother-in-law's medical report into the trash. The money was gone, and frankly, someone's mother was going to die. My mother-in-law, Agnes, came home after a day of mahjong. Finding that I had not cooked dinner, she launched into a tirade. Are you trying to starve me to death? A woman should be a woman, but you only act like a man obsessed with work. You don't even cook. What kind of wife are you? My son must be cursed to marry you. It was true, my relentless hard work had provided us with our current house, Elias' car, and the 600,000 yuan savings. I didn't argue with her. I had a tendency to cry easily and didn't want to shed tears in front of her. I ordered takeout, spicy hot pot and a spicy fish head. The rich aroma permeated the house. Agnes' anger instantly evaporated. She happily exclaimed, Did you get a bonus? Then work hard, I'm going to eat. She took all the food to her room, eating it by herself while complaining about the spice. I had intentionally ordered spicy food, knowing the doctor had recommended that she eat a bland diet. I opened my phone, ready to order something more bland, when a message from a college classmate popped up. They mentioned seeing Elias' lovey-dovey posts on social media, expressing their envy of my life. I hadn't seen any of Elias' posts as he had blocked me. It was clear that he wasn't on a real business trip. He was hiding away in a hotel with Gwendolyn. I replied to my classmate. I'm working overtime at home, that wasn't me. My classmate responded awkwardly, apologizing. I returned to work, but soon Elias came home. Penelope, you are such a wicked person. Elias roared, his face contorted with anger. If you have a problem, you should come to me directly. Why did you report me to my company? Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused me? Elias continued yelling, pointing a finger directly at my forehead. You call your boss and tell him you made a mistake immediately. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my job, and you'll be responsible. I was initially bewildered by his sudden accusation, but I quickly realized what had happened. A college classmate who worked at the same company as Elias had told his coworkers about his affairs. Someone who was disgusted by Elias had reported him to his manager. Looking at Elias' furious face, I felt no sympathy. I responded coldly, "You deserve it. You did something wrong, you should bear the consequences." Elias grabbed my laptop and smashed it on the floor. I am talking to you, stop pretending. I'm calling my boss now. You better explain this. If I lose my job, then it's over for us. He grabbed his phone and made a call. Hey boss. My wife wants to talk to you, hold on. Elias held the phone out to me. I took it and smashed it on the ground. My boss's hello? Echoed from the cracked screen. Elias picked up his phone, apologizing profusely into the receiver. After he hung up, Elias, as if he were a wild beast, lunged at me, clamping his hands tightly around my neck. His eyes burned with anger as he yelled, Penelope, I've had enough of you. Do you think your skills are anything special? Just because you earn a bit of money? You're lucky you're a woman. You can get by with a smile at the business dinner, and let the boss touch your leg to secure a contract. If you were a man, you would be far less capable than me. My eyes widened, filled with disbelief. I hadn't realized that this is how Elias saw me. I had worked tirelessly over the years, striving for the betterment of our family. The networking at business dinners was for the sole purpose of bringing our family a better life. Yet, he had only seen the negative aspects and had completely ignored my sacrifices. He had enjoyed the wealth I brought, while blaming me for those business dinners. I struggled, desperately grabbing at his arms and scratching at his face. Cough, cough. I want a divorce. Divorce. Elias slapped me across the face, sneering. Fine, let's get divorced, I have long been tired of this. Agnes, who had been watching the whole thing, came over when she heard the word divorce, murmuring about how we shouldn't be fighting. She pulled Elias away, whispering something to him. Mom, so what if she can earn a bit of money? So what if she gets half of our properties? I'm telling you, this divorce is happening. Agnes started clapping her hands. Oh my son, you are so stupid. Penelope earns more than you. It was clear now, this is Agnes' true nature. If I weren't the breadwinner, they would have been pushing for divorce a long time ago. Elias cleared his throat, wrapping his arm around Agnes' shoulder. He spoke to me. Mom, I'm telling you, it's this superwoman over here who has cancer. It doesn't matter how much money she has. Agnes paused, her face showing a mixture of shock and delight, then exclaimed, Divorce! Divorce! Do it quickly. Cancer is a bottomless pit. We can't be involved with that. Our family can't afford that. Penelope, to be clear, you don't want a divorce. Then you need to cut ties with your family. We can't afford to lower our quality of life because of your mother. I responded resolutely. Divorce. Elias and Agnes exchanged smug smiles. We discussed the division of assets from houses and cars to even the pots and pans. I wasn't worried about being thorough. I would ensure every single item was accounted for. The car is worth $18,000, you get 5 and I get 13. The house down payment was $400,000. You get $10,000 and I... Elias snapped, glaring at me. Penelope, is any of this necessary? Just look at yourself. You are second-hand goods. Nobody is going to want you. Don't know where you get your arrogance, acting so high and mighty. Do you really think your job is so great? In my eyes, you're just a failure. Congratulations to you. A mother with cancer, a broken family. You will face all of this alone. You deserve it, ha ha ha. I said softly, yes. It's always whose mother, whose problem. After finalizing the financial split and signing the divorce agreement, I began to pack my belongings. My parents called, and they could immediately see my swollen eyes and were worried and wanted to come and pick me up. Before my parents arrived, Gwendolyn came with a little boy. The boy was energetic and showed no signs of having just had a heart surgery. He kept calling Agnes Grandma. Agnes was extremely happy, kissing him on his cheeks. "You are Grandma's grandson. Gwendolyn is big and wide, she is great at giving birth." Elias didn't even try to hide it. He held Gwendolyn's hand affectionately. "This is your new home. You don't need to be homeless anymore. You don't need to be afraid of cockroaches. Are you happy?" Gwendolyn's eyes gleamed as she excitedly jumped into his arms, kissing his cheek. "I'm so happy. I'm so lucky to have you." She began to sob. Elias' heart ached. The two looked disgusting. I continued to pack, and Gwendolyn stood beside me, monitoring what I was taking. "What's it to you what cosmetics I take?" Gwendolyn put her hands on her hips like a shrew. "Elias bought them for you. You're divorced now. They are mine, don't take them." She reached out to grab them, and I threw them on the ground, holding the broken pieces threateningly. Come on, come on." Elias looked like he was about to strike me. Luckily, my parents arrived, along with my burly cousin. Elias pretended to be weak. Agnes was not scared. "If you touch me, I will pretend to be hurt, and you'll have to pay. Don't think you can bully me." My cousin said calmly, "Aren't you supposed to be at the hospital, old woman? Why are you waiting here to die?" Agnes paused, looked at my mother, and said sarcastically, "Oh, the former mother-in-law. Hasn't Penelope told you yet? You have cancer." My mother calmly showed her phone screen, which displayed a medical report. "Agnes, you have cancer." Agnes looked at it, her face turning pale. She took several steps back. "No, it's impossible," she kept saying in a trembling voice. "Impossible, I'm healthy. It can't be." The panic in Elias' eyes quickly disappeared, and he reassured her. "Mom, why are you afraid? It's obviously fake. They are only doing this so that I don't divorce her. After all, I have been a good son-in-law all these years." It was unclear what he was so pleased about. If he had paid more attention, he would have noticed his mother's abdominal pains and not called it fake. Agnes' face brightened, and with Gwendolyn's soothing words, Agnes was instantly energetic. "It's you who has cancer. Your whole family has cancer. Go ahead, hit me. If you hit me, I'll call the police and arrest every single one of you." I held my father and cousin back as outsiders. They could not interfere. I didn't want them to help me if they were going to be taken to the police station. Looking at Agnes' arrogant face, I struck her hard. Agnes stared at me blankly. "You dare to hit me?" She went to attack me, but my cousin restrained her. I gave her 2 more slaps. "Call the police, call the police." "Okay, call the police, and we will reveal your son's affairs." Elias persuaded his mother, who had to swallow her anger. Taking all of my belongings and my memories, I left the house. No sorrow, no disappointment, just a new beginning. I heard Gwendolyn's voice from behind. "Don't go after my husband, a good horse doesn't look back." I wanted nothing more than to get away from them. There was no chance of me turning back. "This entire mess was yours now." The official divorce after the cooling period was surprisingly smooth. Elias had unwavering faith in his mother, convinced she would not fall ill. He was desperate for a divorce, fearing I would ask him to pay for my mother's treatment. On the day we got our divorce papers, Elias and Gwendolyn went to get married. The boy kept calling Elias Dad, and Elias picked him up. They looked intimate and natural. I did not envy their relationship, as their harmony was superficial. What would happen when Agnes' illness was discovered? Elias, noticing my indifference, sent me a message saying, "We are former spouses. Please come to our wedding ceremony and bring a gift." What's wrong with you for not replying to my message? You don't want to come? It's just 1,000 or 2 yuan. You are not that stingy. Oh, I forgot. Your family has a dead person who needs treatment. In that case, you don't have to bring a gift. Just come. I sent him Agnes' medical report, then blocked him. My life had no connection to theirs from this point on. I took a taxi home and received an MMS message. It was a photo of Elias' marriage certificate with Gwendolyn. They were close to each other, smiling sweetly. Don't worry, their smiles won't last long. I took a year's leave, taking my parents on a nice holiday. After we came back, I used my money to buy a small apartment where I could live freely without my parents. One day on my way home from work, I felt uneasy. I felt like someone was following me, but I couldn't see anyone. I bought pepper spray and an extendable baton and I took them everywhere. As time passed, it became clear that the follower was getting closer. My heart pounded and I held the spray in my pocket. I turned around suddenly and waited. The sound of hurried footsteps followed. Ah! I sprayed the follower, and while they were blinded, I took the baton out of my bag and began to beat them. Oh my eye, my eye. Stop hitting me. It's me, it's your mother-in-law. It was Agnes. I hit her even harder. I stopped only when I was out of strength. Agnes, with blood flowing down her face, struggled to get up. You haven't improved even after divorce. No wonder no man wants you. I raised the baton, and she was quickly silenced. I made to leave when she grabbed me. I looked at her again, and I could see that she had lost weight, her eyes were sunken, and her face looked gaunt. It was clear that she had not been having a good time. So, she had found out that she had cancer? Anyways, I was happy that she was unhappy. Elias and I are divorced. There is no connection between you and me. Why are you doing this? Agnes wrung her hands and asked politely, I have been having abdominal pains. Can you come to the hospital with me? It was clear she still didn't know about her cancer. Elias and Gwendolyn wouldn't go with her, and she was too afraid to go by herself. How ridiculously naive. Would the illness just disappear if she didn't go to the hospital? Or would going to the hospital cause her to gain a disease? I sneered. Why don't you ask your son and daughter-in-law? They're busy. I think they are not willing to go with you. No, they are very busy at work. Can you go with me? I refused. No matter how much she begged, I wouldn't go with her. Agnes became agitated, raising her voice. Don't you have any empathy? You have taken care of patients in the past and you should know how weak they can be. Why can't you go with me? She was trying to play the moral high ground. I said sarcastically, don't you feel ashamed? Why are you asking a stranger to go with you? You're so pathetic. You are more than 60 years old, why are you like this? My words hit her where it hurt. Agnes could not catch her breath, she patted her chest angrily. Penelope, your mother has cancer, and you are not even taking time off to look after her. You are working hard, and no matter how high your salary, what does it matter when you don't look after your mother? Your mother must be cursing you for being an unfilial daughter. I have been following you for days and haven't even seen a man by your side. You are destined to be alone, to be unhappy in your marriage life. She kept insulting me. I stared at her, saying calmly, you have cancer, you shouldn't be giving lectures. Go to the hospital. You might live a few more days. My words made her angrier. Her face turned red as she yelled, you wretched woman. Shut up. Don't curse me. I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Someone with a black heart like you will never find a husband. Even if you find one, he will be a domestic abuser who beats you to death. I am here today because I misjudged you. I advise you to find someone to marry quickly, otherwise you will die alone. My son will not marry you again. He is happy with Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is pregnant. Gwendolyn is pregnant. She should be going to the hospital. Why doesn't she take you? My words made Agnes cover her stomach in pain. She began to shout at passers-by. Come and see, this woman is an unfilial disgrace. I yelled. Do you want me to tell them about your son's infidelity? Shut up. Agnes, with her hand on her stomach, ran away quickly. Her symptoms were getting worse, but nobody would take her to the hospital, and she was scared. She came to annoy me. I had to annoy her back. I called Elias. He answered and said smugly, Why do you miss me? Do you want to remarry me? Oh, sorry, I have a wife. Don't fall in love with me. If your mother comes looking for me again, I will call your company and report you. A son who doesn't take care of his sick mother is harassing his former wife. Let's see what your company will do. Go to hell, idiot. I was cautious in case Agnes or Elias came looking for me. 1 month passed and they did not come. I finally relaxed. I accompanied my best friend for a prenatal checkup. At the dispensary, I unexpectedly ran into Elias, Gwendolyn, and Agnes. Elias and Gwendolyn. were relaxing on the chairs, chatting happily while they waited. Agnes was lining up to collect her medicine. She was visibly thinner. Someone bumped into her while cutting in line, and she fell to the floor. She could not get up, holding her stomach, sweat dripping from her forehead. "Hey old woman, don't pretend to be dead. I just bumped into you. Don't try to scam me." People started to comment, some were accusing her. Elias and Gwendolyn looked at her but continued chatting. My best friend shook her head. "You are so lucky to have gotten divorced." I didn't know why I thought Elias was so filial. When I was taking care of them, Elias and Agnes were just enjoying the benefits. They had no conflicts while things were going smoothly. I went to get my friend's medicine. Agnes, holding her stomach, called my name weakly. "Penelope, Penelope, save me, save me." Everyone moved to make way for me, their eyes all on me. "What are you looking at?" "It's not me." My name was called, and I went to collect the medicine. Everyone heard that it wasn't Penelope and forgot about it. I didn't look back when Agnes fainted. Her incident became known in the local community. Elias and Gwendolyn were criticized heavily. Thanks to the media attention, Agnes went for a thorough checkup, where she was diagnosed with cancer. She was now in the hospital crying every day. Their videos went viral. Elderly patient with cancer not being looked after. She fainted in the bathroom. The misery of middle-aged man. An old mother with cancer and a pregnant wife. Elderly cancer patient abandoned by her family due to a fight with her son. Her son had picked her up. Agnes was taken home where she protested. "Son, I worked hard for you all these years. I want to live. A few more years, I want to see my grandson be born and grow up. It's just waiting for death at home. Send me to the hospital." Elias sighed. "Mom, you know your illness can't be cured. Money spent on you will be lost and it's just wasted. Save it for your unborn grandson." Agnes cried. She couldn't believe her son would say that to her. She shook her head. No, my son would never be so unfilial. It's Gwendolyn. She's the one who instigated it. Son, she is trying to kill your mother. You'll be cursed by our ancestors." Elias, frustrated, smoked one last cigarette. "I will go talk to Gwendolyn." Agnes was happy but realized what kind of person Gwendolyn was. She sighed. Elias came out looking defeated. Agnes knew she could not convince them. She rushed to the bedroom shouting, "Gwendolyn, you wretched woman. I'm your husband's mom. It's your responsibility to take care of me. I want treatment, I don't want to die." The boy charged at Agnes and started to hit her. "Don't you dare yell at my mother." Agnes fought back. Gwendolyn rushed out to protect her son. It was chaotic. Gwendolyn fell to the ground, holding her belly in pain. Elias, enraged, pulled Agnes away. "Even if you are my mother, you can't hurt my wife." Elias rushed to the hospital with Gwendolyn, but not his mother. Gwendolyn had a premature baby boy. The boy was in the incubator, which was very expensive. Elias' work was affected. He was demoted, and it was now impossible to afford the treatment. Agnes' condition worsened. She asked me for help again. She cried, "Penelope, I never thought they would treat me like this. Can you please help me? If I can live, I will serve you. Or if you want to marry my son, I will help you." I said clearly, "Don't deceive yourself. Why do you think I should help you? You could help me. I need 50,000 and I will help you." Agnes did not say anything and sighed. "Why do you talk like that, so horrible?" I laughed. "You are dying because of your son, do you understand? It was him who gave the 600,000 to Gwendolyn to pay for their son's heart surgery." Agnes paused. "What? Heart surgery? He doesn't have any heart problems." I expected as much. When I divorced Elias, I saw the money that was supposed to have been spent on the surgery in front of me. I realized what had happened. Agnes was shocked. "So we still have money. I will go look for them." She stood up quickly and asked, "If they refuse, what is the best method?" "Use the internet. Use your TikTok account and WeChat." Elias would never give her the money. Agnes' actions made them the local topic again. It was revealed that Gwendolyn was a mistress, and she was cursed by everyone. Some people had even made their address public and were pelting their house with eggs and manure. I was enjoying watching the show when I became the target. Elias, ready for battle, came looking for me at the company, but he was stopped by security. I went down and talked to him in the pavilion. Elias threw a stack of photos at me. You encouraged my mother to report me online, and you got those morons to come to my house. I'm going to get revenge. The paint was expensive to remove, the glass was broken, the electricity was damaged, and now my job is gone. It's all your fault, you have to pay. I had no idea where he had gotten the audacity. I turned away and he grabbed me. You want to leave so soon? Don't you want to see this? He took out another stack of photos with his chin raised high, looking smug and satisfied that I looked shocked. My face was on those photos, but it was not my body. I trembled in anger. Don't think that you are the only one that can use the internet. Who can't? He looked at the photos and then studied me from top to toe. Your body isn't as good as the person in the photos. I pretended to be calm. How much money do you want? Elias smirked. Not that much, just $1 million. Is your body worth it? I looked at him coldly. You are targeting the wrong person. I don't have that much money. Elias laughed. It's not about whether you have the money or not. If you don't give me the money in 3 days, I'll send the photos to all your colleagues. You will be finished. While you still can use money to make up for it, then hurry up and find the money. I looked at him with contempt. You think you can threaten me with that? Dream on. Elias was furious and waved the photos in my face. I will throw them. It's your fault, not mine. He was about to throw them, but the security guard grabbed his arm. The photos fell into the security's hands. Elias struggled wildly. Let me go. Let me go. He then pulled a knife out of his pocket. Before he could do anything, he was knocked out by security. Elias was arrested by the police. He had no time to react. Elias would go to jail. It was what he deserved. Agnes sold their house and used the money to ask me to forgive him. She was also begging me to withdraw my accusations. I did not agree. Agnes, seeing that persuasion didn't work, threatened to kill herself. If you don't drop the charges, I will die. I'm about to die anyway. I might as well make it worthwhile. I was confused, then she continued. I will do a live stream when I jump. I will blame it all on you. You will have no peace. I looked at Agnes. Even though Elias would not treat her, she still loved him. She was going to die soon and was still concerned about her unfilial son. It was a true display of filial piety. But I hate seeing them happy. Agnes, like an idiot, jumped from the building. She was saying that I was the reason she had jumped, and she wanted everyone to target me. I released the chat history and the audio recordings. I was the victim. Agnes stopped acting. Even though she knew she was going to die, she did not have the courage to jump. Elias was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Agnes fainted on the spot. When she opened her eyes, she realized that everything of value was gone. The appliances were gone, even the money from selling the house. Gwendolyn had run away with it. Agnes collapsed on the floor crying, "It's all over. My old man, please don't blame me when I see you in the afterlife." Then she heard a faint cry. She found her grandson, hugging him, and began to cry. Agnes was collecting garbage to buy milk for her grandson. She was already very weak. She did not last more than 6 months. Elias' son was taken into an orphanage. 2 years later, my boyfriend was driving me to work and said a man was hanging around our building. It must be Elias. Elias and Agnes had once said that no man would love me. They were completely wrong. After a while, Elias stopped showing up. Half a year later, I heard from him again. He had committed a crime. He had sold his son, and now he was going back to prison. His son suffocated during transport and died. Elias was truly special. He killed his mother and his son. Luckily, I had divorced him a long time ago. My marriage is very happy. Luckily, I was brave enough to love again. The end.